Welcome to Merle's Pearls of Relationship Wisdom, the podcast where I, Merle, am a singer, the relationship miracle worker, author, speaker, coach, and teacher, talk about relationship and how your communication, your commitment, and expectation can steer your relationship boat through the turbulent tsunami and into calm waters. Today I want to speak about difficult people in your life. Now, I don't mean difficult like your mother or your spouse or any of the people that you love. That kind of difficult is a topic for another time. I'm talking about the difficult of the people that you see in your life on a regular basis. Those other people, at least one of which is very likely a difficult person to deal with. So what do you do about that? Well, I have actually a miraculous solution that is quite effective. So let me tell you a story about this. It was, now it's been a couple of years since I was doctoring with a doctor about a particular medical issue, and I would see the nurse that ministered to me on a regular basis. The nurse was Marigold. Her mother liked flowers, and Marigold was the quintessential nurse. She was excellent. She knew what she was doing. She did it professionally. Aside from that, she was charming, and she was just a decent, nice person. So we would have conversations, and she would talk about herself and her life. I would talk about myself and my life. And somewhere, invariably, somewhere in that conversation, she would say, "Mrs. Singer, I love my job." And I'd come back another week and we'd have a conversation. She would talk, I would talk, and somewhere in there it would be, "Mrs. Singer, I love my job." And so it was on this particular day. And she was talking and I was talking, and then she said, "Mrs. Singer, I love my job and I'm looking for a new one." What? Marigold, what are you talking about? "Well, I have to tell you, Mrs. Singer, we have a new supervising nurse, and she's horrible. I mean, she's horrible, horrible, horrible." Marigold, you know I'm the relationship miracle worker. We've talked. I do courses on how to deal with difficult people. Why didn't you ask me? "Of course, she's horrible. She's too horrible to help." Wait, just a second. I'm going to give you my course in one conversation, and I'm going to tell you what you need to do, and you're going to do it. Do you hear me, Marigold? "I don't like it." "That's okay." So I gave her the story, the conversation, I told her my course. And the upshot of it is, Marigold, this is what you need to do. You need to give that woman a compliment every day. She said, "A compliment?" No, not a compliment. A compliment, an itty bitty teeny eensy beensy little compliment. That's just a little one. But it must be true. You can say, "I like your shoelaces." I mean, that's an eeny beeny. But you have to like her shoelaces. You can say, "Great picture frame on your desk. I love modern. Great picture frame. I love antique." Doesn't just most insignificant, tiny little compliment. That's all. Just one nice thing. She did not look happy. But I left and came back in a couple of weeks. And Marigold, so how's it going? Mrs. Singer, I couldn't find one nice thing to say about this woman. But I knew you'd be mad at me. So I found something. The next day was worse. I'd run out of compliments. But I found something because I knew you'd be mad at me. And I've given her a compliment a day, since last time. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, what have you noticed? I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'm just not sure. Okay, that's okay. Marigold, you're awesome. You're just awesome. Keep doing it. I'll be back in a couple of weeks. And in a couple of weeks, I came back and she said, Mrs. Singer, I can't wait to tell you what happened. What happened? Well, one of the other nurses came up to me and said, Marigold, what's going on with Nurse Ratchet? That's what they called her. Marigold said, what do you mean? Well, she's nice. And she's nice to all the nursing staff. She's even nice to the doctors. And not all nurses are nice to the doctors. Well, guess what? That's the story. That's it. Okay, so let's talk about this. I'm telling you that what happened was the environment of the whole office changed because she was nice to all the nurses and all the doctors, and everybody, therefore, was happy, okay? That's the winning. But how? How could that be? So let's talk about it. So here's a woman, a supervising woman. She came. They don't know anything about her. All they know is that she's mean all the time. But maybe her husband was one of those soldiers that was shot recently. Maybe her mother had Alzheimer's and was living with them. Maybe worse, it was her mother-in-law with Alzheimer's living with them. You don't know what made her life so dark that everything she said and did was dark. So, but we know something was wrong, because people are only mean like that when something's wrong. And so then we have Marigold, who gives her an eeny-beeny, teeny, eensy-beensy compliment. It's like one of those little tea lights, but a little tea light in a whole area of dark looks light. And then she gave her another compliment, and then another tea light, another tea light, another tea light. Eventually, her life was lighting up. It's not that she became a different person. She didn't. She was having a different environment. She was responding to a different environment. Now it wasn't all dark. There was these pieces of light. And the flip side of that is that Marigold, who knew she was horrible, completely, terribly horrible, over a period of time, when she kept seeing eeny beeny things that were decent about her, she couldn't help but expand how she saw her from a horrible person to just a person. Marigold was being victimized by another person with a really bad mood. And she said, I don't want to be victimized anymore. She did something about it. She took action instead of, oh, poor me, let me take action. It changed how she saw that woman. It changed the environment for that woman so that the whole office got lit up. I mean, tell me that's not a relationship miracle. It is a relationship miracle. Marigold went from victim to leader, because she now, by the force of her action that she didn't tell anybody about, nobody else knew anything about, caused the environment of the whole office to change. If you're going to ask me, it's a miracle. It is a miracle, and it's just a real one, because that's what happened. Where in your life could you make use of that information? Where are you being victimized, or feeling like a victim, that you could take action and change? Let me know. I'd be interested to hear from you.